morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from. My name is JackieLove Gathoni. For those who don't know me, I make faith-based content, lifestyle, and self-development. I know it's been 10,000 years. 10,000 years later. I don't know if you know that thing.
2,000 years later.
Since I made my last video. And yo, that's bad. I mean, it's not good. It's not good. But yo, life has not been lifing. It has not been lifing. But anyway, I'm glad I am back. I'm here to stay now. And I'm here to stay for good, for good, for good. Yeah. So welcome back to my channel. If you're new, make sure you subscribe, leave a comment, share, and encourage me in the comment section. So today I want to speak about when faith and fear speaks at the same time. So I don't know if you've ever been called to do something and you feel it in your heart, you want to do something, and then but there's just this voice, that those thoughts in your mind that keeps telling you, what if you can't do it? What if you're not enough? What if, you know? But you know, deep down in your heart, you are meant to do something, but there's just this fear that is in you, and then you have to do all the thoughts that come with this fear that, hey, what if I'm not good enough? But God said I can do this. But God said I will do this, you know? And sometimes God calls us to do something, and it's in line with our purpose in this life, but we allow the spirit of fear to rule our hearts. You know, the word of God tells us that the spirit that God gives us when we receive Christ does not give us fear, but power, love, and sound mind. I don't know, some says self-control. I don't know. Yeah. But now we are stuck in this place where we have to wrestle with what God said, and the fear because of the thoughts that comes, the fear of failure, fear that it will not work out, fear. But we forget that God told us, go and do this, go and do that, go and do that. Now we are stuck in that cycle of, you know, when faith and fear speaks at the same time, there's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do because you're like, but God, but God. You know, there was this guy, this story we were told in class 3, I can't remember it. We used to go to church in another church over there, and then there was this guy who told us about a guy who was walking, and then he fell into a pit, and then on that pit he was telling God, oh God, please help me, I want to come out of this pit. So the first person that came by, he brought him a rope and told him, take this rope and pull yourself out. I'll catch you, I'll tie it around a tree, and then you just have to climb, and then I'll pull you out. So this guy came and gave him the rope. But now this guy on the whole was just like, you're giving me a rope, you don't know what you are doing, you don't want to get me out, how do you expect me to climb out, you know? And he was just making excuses because he had fear that he doesn't have the strength to use the rope. So the man told him, let me go and get a ladder. So the guy went and took a ladder and gave to this guy to come out. But now this guy is just giving excuses. He's just saying, you know, you're giving me a ladder, you know it's hard to climb, what if it falls, what if it does this and this. Then I was like, I have given you everything. I've given you a ladder, I've given you a rope, but you don't want to come out. And that's us, when God has given us an assurance of what he wants us to do. When he calls us, he gives us, this is what you'll do, this is what you do. But we allow the spirit of fear to come and like disrupt everything that the Lord has said. And then we end up in cycles of asking people, should we do this? And now we are asking people who have not even been given the mission. And then the opinion, their opinion will make you like, no, shrink back, not do what the Lord has told you. And we end up in a cycle of not trusting God. We allow fear. And it's such a bad thing. God gives us like everything. Like God amekupea voice, He has given you ability, has given you strength, but you're just saying, oh God, I can't do this. What if? You know my past, you know my what, you know my what, you know I am, you know, God, I don't have good looks, you know, God, I can't do this, you know. And sometimes it can be so frustrating to God, which can make Him like say like you're disobedient, because God has given you everything to do what you want to do, but you want to remain in that cycle between faith and fear. And then there are times in lives you just have to let go of that fear to do what you want. I don't know what is it that you want to do. Maybe it's go back to school, maybe it's to start a new business, maybe it's to move, maybe it's to apply for that job. And maybe you have even the skills, you've gone to schools, you have everything that you need, but you just keep saying, but I'm not qualified. You're not qualified. And you know, God has already given you everything. And also you allow the fear to keep on coming, and then it keeps telling you things and things and things, and then you don't move. You just there stuck. Like imagine that guy, if he had used the ladder, he would have come out, and that would have been so much faster. If he would have used the rope, he would have climbed out, and now at least he wouldn't be in that hole. And now that's us, stuck in that cycle of fearing. God has given us everything that we need. It's just we take the leap of faith, and taking of the leap of faith is just taking the first step. I don't know what you need to do. I don't know what you need to start, but just go and take that first step. For me, taking that first step was like coming back to this channel. For me, I've always like wanted to make videos, and not just make videos. I like encouraging and inspiring people. Yeah, and for the longest time, God had given me everything. And then I was like, yo, God, I can't do this. But what if my past, you know, the thoughts that comes with the past, the shame, the fear, you know, those thoughts, and then you're like, yo, God, I can't do this. But God has told us, do not fear, do not be discouraged, for I'll be with you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. It's in Isaiah 41:10. And then there are very many instances in the Bible where God has told us not to fear. Like in Joshua, it was in Joshua 1 verse 7, it tells us, I can't remember. Let me read it. Do not be discouraged. I can't remember. But it's something, do not fear. So when we allow this fear to be bigger than the faith, we are stuck in a season of being stuck. We don't know what to do, but now it's time we arise past our fears, and we move past the fears that we had, and have the courage to start again, because the Bible tells us, do not fear, or it says, be strong and very courageous, very be careful to obey the law of my servant Moses gave to you. Do not turn from it right to left, that you may be successful wherever you go. You see, leave the other part. I wanted that part for be strong and be courageous. God has given you His word. He has confirmed His word by telling you, be strong and be courageous. So I want to encourage you this morning. If there's something that you really want to do, move past that fear. Fear and faith cannot remain in the same place. Change will not happen when faith and fear are at work. Those are two opposite forces that are working in your life. And if you want to unstuck yourself, move to the next level, you have to let go of the fear and take on the courage. Put on the full armor of faith, the whole of it. Don't even leave a room for fear to hold you, because you are meant for greatness. You can do great things, and you are meant to do great things. So if that is you, who wants to do something like me, I I'm speaking from my experience because I don't want you to see like it's something that I can't relate with. Move, take the first step, and when you take the first step, you don't know what will happen. So leave the fear of the unknown. Even though you stay there on your comfort zone and in the familiar, where you've been familiar with, you will never know what's on the other side. And one thing about fear, there's nothing to expect. There's nothing to expect about it. But when you have faith, you have hope. But if I do this, this can this and this and this. But when we fear, we just remain in the same position. We never know what's past that fear, past that. If I take the first step, what can happen? So, as in, fear is just a boring place to be. So, take on the full armor of faith. Guard yourself with faith and move to where God wants you to be, to where you want to be, to take the next step, to see yourself where you want to be. So this is the message that I had for you. Do not allow the fear to hold you back, to hold you back from achieving what God has called for you to do in this generation, in your time. God calls us for a purpose, and each and every one of us has a purpose. So if we allow the fear to hold us back from achieving life purpose, we live this earth so unfulfilled, so like I didn't achieve what I really wanted. So yeah, so move past the fear. Don't allow faith and fear. Faith and fear cannot coexist. So move past it. Be strong. Be courageous, because God has given you everything. He has given you the rope. He has given you the ladder. So move past it. So thank you for listening to me. I hope you've been encouraged. I hope you've been strengthened to go move past your fear. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, like and share, and come back for more videos, because I'll be posting once a week. Bye. Thank you for listening. I love you.